This is part two of that video. I did um, read the instructions a little bit too quickly. I didn't see some of the other points I wanted to make here that I need to get through in this assignment. So, as far as the challenges I faced as I performed these, it goes back to the degree of um, worthiness or whether or not the person is meritorious of kindness. That makes things an obstacle for these random acts of kindness, which is why I think it's so as profound a illustration of the gospel is because um, it is these people are not meritorious at all of kindness or of any kind of grace. So that was probably the biggest challenge: is why be so generous? Why be so giving towards people who in no way merited it? They didn't earn it. There's no indication. Um, they're exceptionally just it's exceptionally random. Um, and the reactions again were the dumbfoundedness. It wasn't. It just it left them kind of speechless. And I think that's the piece of the gospel that when it really hits you, you should not be able to form complete sentences, subject and predicate. You should not be able to rationally articulate a response. It truly, the gospel, and when it really, in some of its more pure forms, hits you, you really can't respond with any form of clarity and cohesion because it's that overwhelming. I think that is actually, ironically, the clearest way to see the gospel is when it is most unintelligible, because it's in how to describe it. And how you think regularly activating it would impact your personal leadership. Boy, I mean, to be honest with you, my wife and I are both pretty outgoing people, and especially in crowds. We're quick to engage. We don't avert. It's strange. I am a conflict avoider, but I'm the opposite of that when it comes to uh, being friendly. Maybe it's just an extrovert, but while I avoid conflict, I am quick and eager to jump into friendly in conversation with total strangers. I'm on the lookout for it almost when we're in certain situations. So, because my wife and I are both that way, uh, we've done this from time to time, but it certainly makes it something that is more desirable when you taste it, and when you taste it as frequent as six, in 1 week. You you want to make it a more daily uh, life than a weekly or monthly or seasonal or random thing. It becomes you desire for it to be less random. I think that's for me the biggest takeaway. As far as leadership goes, I would say the thing that did come to mind is that how can our church collectively be involved in giving where it seems completely random, on the community or the people we're loving or serving, in no way asked for it or merited it or anything. It was just initiated almost out of complete inherent love itself. There was nothing that initiated it. It wasn't in response to a cause. It wasn't even in response to a social cause of the day, the latest, whether that be, it's just an example, the refugee crisis or anything. It almost doing something that is completely comes out of left field socially, and that for me was big. As far as the church collected on a macro scale, by the way, the impediments to doing this are probably just the nature of us being kind of reactive to our community's needs versus, I don't know if this is getting too, if I'm over spiritualizing here, but the whisper of the Spirit allowing Him to have us hit targets no one even sees yet, to kind of hobble together some cliches here, but the idea of doing a random act of kindness almost seems like what makes it so beautiful and breathtaking is that it comes out of left field. It's not in response to a need. It's not in response to an observed need. It just seems to hit a need that no one was even addressing or talking about, but was there. And you almost have to have a sensitivity to the Spirit's leadership to have you see with different eyes, to be able to see those, and then go after them with a kind of sacrifice, and knowing the church is going to take a hit. We're going to feel the pinch from it in a good way. And I think that, Jesus definitely felt a lot of pain in his giving, so we should model that and respond that way. But I think that's, for me, something the church could benefit from is looking at our community with a different set of goggles on, looking for where we might hit a need that no one was really even prepared for, was asking about, but it definitely was excessively gratuitous in our response. So that's kind of the part 2 of this video. Thank you.